This will actually be the final week that you guys see this apartment in the background of our videos. As of July 8th, Mrs. Six and I are both moving into our very first house together, and that is all thanks to you amazing people watching right now. Without all you guys, I would still be living in that tiny apartment I lived in back in Australia, as opposed to being married to and living with my beautiful wife in an incredible neighborhood. Speaking of my wife though, can you guys guess who is streaming the final closed beta for Genshin Impact just a few hours from now? Yeah, Mrs. Sticks. If you're interested in the game, which I know you guys definitely are, head on over to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/MMOByte and watch her play through the game. Again, it is going to be in just a few hours. We actually stream every week at the same time, 3 p.m. EST on Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. These streams are a way to get our community engaged in the MMOs that we're streaming, as every month we do 3 different games and then do 3 different reviews on those games. And all of you guys are included in the highlights for every single game that we post. Otherwise, we have another week absolutely filled with news for you guys. And there is a ton that we need to talk about. So welcome to this week's Weekly Byte of MMORPG news. Real quick though, before we jump into today's video, I would like to talk to you guys about today's sponsor, Black Desert Online. The reason we're discussing BDO today is due to the fact that they're actually introducing brand new season servers into the game. Season servers are unlike normal servers. These servers are open and available for 3 months only, with every character receiving an increase of 100% for combat XP and 20% for skill XP. Yes, this will prove to be quite useful down the line, trust me. These servers will not force you into PvP and will feature different events, making certain you have a large pool of items to toy with. After each season, these season servers will shut down, with players receiving a bunch of goodies. Black Desert is one of the most aesthetically appealing MMOs on the market right now. If you haven't tried the game out yet, then don't worry, I got your back. If you register via my link in the description and the pinned comment below, you'll get 7 days completely free to test the game out. Trust me, with the sheer amount of classes in the game right now, the ability to do pretty much whatever you want, and the incredible look and feel of the game, you'd be missing out to not take advantage of this opportunity. Let's go ahead and start this off with Pantheon. I don't recall the last time I actually did a video on Pantheon, or heck, even included it in a news segment, but here we are. The game is currently in pre-alpha testing still, but showing progress little by little. According to the team's latest live stream, they've been hard at work on introducing new features, new idle and combat animations, shaders, and, well, interestingly, they wanted to showcase how players can interact with their environment in the form of scaling walls. I'm not really sure specifically what purpose this is going to serve, considering the game is supposedly a PvE-oriented game. Regardless, the game does not have an expected release date as of July 2020, or a beta test date for that matter, but they just wanted to show that they're continuing to make progress towards a playable state, unlike Chronicles of Elyria. And speaking of Chronicles of Elyria, I'm sure you're all well aware at this point of the state the game is in. The CEO of the studio behind the game announced that the game was dead and effectively shut down and let the entire development team go. After a lot of complaints from the community, he then changed his story, stating that he's still working on the game and there was no need to refund the $8 million worth of money that was invested into the game. Players have been repeatedly trying to get a refund regardless, however, they're not faring very well. Yeah, kinda crappy, honestly. But that's where the bad news ends. Let's go ahead and liven things up by talking about Tower of Fantasy, an upcoming cross-platform anime MMORPG that actually looks pretty sick. The game has a sci-fi fantasy setting and will feature complete action combat. They showcased some gameplay, but had the UI disabled, so we couldn't really get an accurate gauge of how the game would ultimately look and play. There will be no classes in the game, with weapons essentially functioning much like a class would, but allowing players to swap playstyles whenever and wherever they feel. This could be a competitor to PSO2, considering they kinda shared the same theme and setting. Although my main concern here is that it's being developed in China, and we all know how long those games take to release over here in the West. Next up is another brand new upcoming MMORPG, Project Ragnarok. I just did a video on this a couple days ago actually, but according to the developer, it's going to be a full-fledged AAA budget MMORPG launching cross-platform between PC, console, and mobile devices. Yeah, an MMO that is cross-play compatible between every major gaming platform, interestingly enough. Not much was shown thus far, but we do know that the game is going to be completely action-oriented and be set in a world based on Norse mythology. Project Ragnarok is being developed by NetEase, and honestly, even though it's Chinese and all we got to see was a small trailer rendered mostly in the cinematic engine, I do have high hopes as I have an interest in Norse mythology, so you know what, this could actually end up being quite a treat for me. The last time I discussed Mortal Online 2 was when we were talking about their combat trailer. Since then, the devs have been very hard at work and they have yet another trailer to show for it, this time in the form of a town trailer. Granted, it's just, you know, a town, which really doesn't serve much purpose, but we do get a glimpse of what the game world we're going to occupy will look like, and that is pretty cool. I've reported on Lost Ark Korea's 2 upcoming classes in the past, but at the time they were undisclosed. Nobody had any idea what they were going to be until now. Turns out with the game's new upcoming second season, players will have access to the brand new Scouter class. Interestingly, the Scouter is going to wield a submachine gun and shoot lasers, which to my knowledge is the first class of that type up until this point. Mrs. Sticks and I are currently streaming Lost Ark over on Twitch every single Sunday, and we have yet to reach a point where the game features any kind of futuristic tech, so I don't know, this will be an interesting addition. In news that I never thought I would cover, it seems as though Bless Unleashed, the Xbox exclusive title, is actually coming to PC. I'm not joking, so, you know, guys, you can stop laughing. The game is going to be launching on a PC early 2021 and will likely feature ridiculous founders packs to attempt to milk as much money as they possibly can out of the game. Interestingly enough, Bandai Namco, who published the game on the Xbox console, have made it abundantly clear that they will not have anything at all to do with the PC release, stating that Bandai Namco Entertainment America is working closely with NeoWiz to build and deliver the best Bless Unleashed experience possible for the Xbox One. In addition to continued support and growth of Bless Unleashed on the Xbox One, NeoWiz intends to independently publish Bless Unleashed on PC. Bandai Namco Entertainment will not be publishing or supporting the PC version. There will be no cross-platform play between the versions either. So yeah, Bamco are distancing themselves from the disastrous PC launch of Bless Unleashed. Like Tower of Fantasy and Project Ragnarok, TALION is a cross-platform MMORPG that just launched onto PC recently. However, where the 2 aforementioned titles are actually being built fully cross-platform, TALION is a mobile MMO that has been ported over to PC, retaining much of the look and the feel of the mobile iteration of the game. Now, I'm not terribly against mobile MMOs. I know that there are actually a couple solid titles out there like Rangers of Oblivion and Sky Children of the Light, but TALION is a poor attempt at milking a dying title on mobile devices by attempting to fill a game with gullible players looking for a new MMO to play. And trust me, before downloading and playing TALION, you might be convinced to play it purely off of how good the game is advertised to look. And you know what? I am actually going to go ahead and download and stream this game, and I'm going to post a video of exactly how it plays probably sometime next week or the week after. So keep an eye out for that. The final closed beta test for Genshin Impact is currently ongoing right now. Mrs. Sticks is streaming footage for the game over on Twitch as we speak, and she'll be doing a dedicated video on the game as soon as she's acquired enough footage for it. There is no ETA on when the game will fully launch, but from what we can tell, MiHoYo are still planning on releasing the game sometime this year, probably in the final quarter. Currently, the beta test will support crossplay between PC, PS4, and mobile devices. I did a dedicated video on Diablo 4 last week, but I know this is worth including here as well. Blizzard and the Diablo 4 team have been hard at work developing Diablo 4 and recently made a blog post over on the official Diablo 4 website detailing various aspects of the game that they've been hard at work on. Monsters, environments, areas, and even the combat itself. I would definitely recommend going on and watching that video as there is a lot to cover, but suffice it to say, it's going to be quite a bit different to Diablo 3. The story will play out differently, interactions will be made differently, the unique open world system is going to take the game in a very different direction. All in all, I was a little surprised by how it's ultimately looking. players have been wondering when Final Fantasy XIV would release its brand new 5.3 patch, Mrs. Sticks and myself included. There has been a bit of a content drought recently, especially considering the next patch was supposed to launch back in June, if I recall, ultimately meaning that by the time this patch rolls out, the drought will have gone on for 2 months longer than they had originally anticipated. Regardless, there is an exact release date planned now for 5.3, August 11th. Yeah, unfortunately, we still have a little over a month left to wait before we gain a continuation of the story, the new 24-player Nier raid, and other content associated with the patch. Mrs. Sticks and her static have almost cleared Shiva Savage though, so you know what? I am proud of her for that. If Project Ragnarok wasn't enough to get you excited for a Norse-themed MMORPG, then allow me to introduce you to ODIN Valhalla Rising. I did a dedicated video on this a little while ago, so if you want specifics, I recommend going and checking that out. Regardless, ODIN is a brand new upcoming MMO that looks like it took the graphical style of Black Desert and unfortunately left behind the combat system, but you can definitely see the inspiration they took from that title. Combat is action-based, as you can see within the trailer itself, and the game will actually be launching this year in 2020, something that I did not expect to hear. Honestly, this game is a South Korean MMO though, so expect, you know, what we would expect from South Korean MMOs. Codename SYN is a brand new upcoming online FPS, if the trailer is anything to go off of. The trailer for the game really didn't elaborate on the title all that much, but what it did show us was a new game with 3 different factions being built cross-platform for PC and consoles only as opposed to mobile devices, which is something that I never expected to see in a game coming out of China. Little is known about the game. We don't even know if SYN is coming out in 2021 or not, but from what we've seen thus far, the game looks quite a bit like the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 game. I covered Ashes of Creation last month with their latest developer stream and the progress they'd made, and it turns out a couple of days ago they did another dev stream showcasing the player housing system. This is one of the features I was interested in since they showed it in an incomplete, very basic form last month. I urge you to go ahead and check out the stream yourselves for a comprehensive look at the system, but from what I can tell, it's coming along nicely. The devs may have repeatedly shown that they're incompetent and that their priorities lied with the Apocalypse Battle Royale as opposed to the MMO at the time, but they seem to have finally gotten back on track, you know, after a couple years. This is a title that I'm actually kind of against. See, V4 is a newish mobile MMO that really didn't do too well because, you know, like Nexon is Nexon. However, it is what it is. A mobile MMO failing, not really an issue for us as PC MMO players. However, it turns out that Nexon are actually porting V4 over to PC as well, just like TALION, claiming that the game is a cross-platform MMORPG, when in reality, the game is going to be a mobile game that you can play on your PC. Where the other cross-platform titles are actually being built for each platform in mind, this is a mobile game through and through. It looks like a mobile title, it plays like a mobile title, and other than not requiring an emulator, this is a mobile MMO. It's worth noting that if you ever wanted to play the game on PC though, this is your chance, otherwise I would steer completely clear. I know a lot of you guys, much like myself, are eagerly awaiting any and all new additions to the Temtem MMO, so you'll be happy to learn that the upcoming update is going to include guilds, effectively referred to as clubs, allowing for you to get together with 49 other members and build up your very own team of misfits. Unfortunately, the club system is going to be released in a very basic iteration, meaning that outside of existing as an additional means for players to converse, there won't really be any other purpose to it right now. They plan on remedying that in the future with additional updates though. So I have to include this here just because it looks so damn good. Like, I know a lot of you guys enjoy, or at least enjoy, Dragon Raja for however long you invested into it. The video I did went on to garner over 60,000 views and had a 95% like ratio, and this is from the very same team that developed Dragon Raja. Noah's Heart is a steampunk fantasy MMORPG set in a large open world, but unfortunately outside of the trailer footage, we don't really know what the game is about, nor what the game is going to feature, other than a seamless open world and the ability to woo various NPCs. Finally, I actually just saw on the official Blue Protocol Twitter that a small announcement has been made. According to the Twitter, the Blue Protocol team are going to be focused on development for a while now to make sure that the feedback the players submitted can be effectively and accurately reflected within the game itself. They further went on to note that they will continue to give status updates via Twitter, however, it will be at irregular intervals for the time being. They then showed us several new pictures of a brand new outfit along with quite a thick looking succubus character, which I can assure you guys now Mrs. Styx will definitely be attempting to create. And that's it. That is all of the MMO related news that has been brought to my attention over the last 2 weeks. If you know of anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comment section on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, anywhere you can find me, with a link to the article so I could take a look and include it in the next news video. Anyway guys, that is it for me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.